Hello, welcome to Crunchy Stories. Thank you for passing by. To those that are new, welcome. To those that are not new, it's a pleasure to have you back. Today's story is named Buried Alive. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. He's back. No, he's asleep at the moment. Of course he cannot hear me. The thing is, I do not know what to do with him. If they find out that he's still alive, they are going to kill him. I got phone calls the previous week. Yes. They were asking me where he is because they hadn't seen him for a long time. What did I tell them? Of course I told them that he ran away from home. I told them that he's insane and we no longer know his whereabouts. I just want my son to live longer. I know they want to kill him. That is why they keep on asking where he is. Denise heard his mom speaking over the phone across the living room. He had just stepped out of bed, but then decided to tiptoe back to his room. I have a few days alive now. The cancer has become worse. Yes, I have wounds in my nostrils now. I cannot protect him anymore. They are coming for him. I do not know what to do. Should I bring him over so we talk to him? The conversation progressed in the living room as he tried to hold back his tears. Dennis did not know why he was to be killed or why his mother had decided to announce him as a madman. Tears rocked him back to sleep as he listened to his mother crying over the phone and planning how he has to be taken for explanations. An hour later, he was back up again. The humid air coming from the soft porridge that was being cooked brought back the homely feeling again. Dennis had been away for a long time now, for more than a year. He had been pursuing his education abroad, and this was his first time back home in South Africa. The city of gold, as many people would choose to name it, Johannesburg, where they had been accommodated for the last 5 years since he ran away from his parental home in Cape Town. Johannesburg is a big city, which everyone counted on when it came to making money, fast earned income that helped pay his high school education. Waking up every morning on an empty stomach, rushing to school, sometimes without pocket money. But soon he adapted, and things got better with time, and he began carrying a lunchbox with pocket money. Even though it was not a big deal, he still managed to survive the long days of school. Primrose High School had been his home. School was the only place where he was not worrying about anything. He would just sit there at the corner and eat up his sandwich as he watched life pass by. How he wished he had friends. How he wanted to feel the warm hugs of friends hugging him just to make sure that he was alive. But no, that was not his life. His life was centered on getting good grades and passing through education to get his desired dream. As he woke up, making his bed, the sad memories of how his grandmother had chased him out of their apartment in Bloemfontein gave him sudden chills in his stomach. It all made sense now, why he had known them for so long now. Marilyn had welcomed Dennis when he was doing his 11th grade, giving him all of those hugs he had wished he had gotten in high school. But everything turned around the moment when he left South Africa to pursue his degree in Boston, United States of America. Everyone started looking at Dennis as someone who thinks he is better in a way. Suddenly you think you can speak up because you think you are learned. Being in America does not make you tough, young man. Just go back there. Your presence makes us sick. We have to start waking up and cooking for you as if we are your maids Find a way to get back. Those were the words uttered by Marilyn after Denise had made a comment on a series which they were watching on the night of his arrival. The whole night became a nightmare for Dennis, with Marilyn criticizing everything that he does, making him look bad for everything he did. Have you washed your face? You think that you are going to walk all around my house with that dirty face? Are you insane? All of those things did not make sense to Dennis. He did not know why he was being thrown all over. But one thing he knew was that the next day he had to get the earliest taxi back to Boksburg, Johannesburg. He tucked in his blankets around his single bed mattress. He had already felt bad enough for the whole day in just a couple of thoughts. He also remembered the time when he had called his best friend to announce his return, but Frank never picked up his phone. No matter how many times Dennis kept calling back, everything was sour now. Deep down he had wanted to come back home, but at the moment he suddenly felt the need to go back to Boston and live his life on strange grounds. He went to wash his face and then went straight to the living room to greet his mother. "Mom, you awake? When did you wake up?" Dennis acted like he knew nothing about the conversation he had overheard over the phone at 5 a.m. "Oh yes, Dennis. I'm awake. Listen, we need to go to Martha. She wants to see you," his mother said as she directed him to the bowl placed on the counter filled with soft porridge. Sure, but why does she want to see me?" he asked. He really wanted to know what was going on and why his mother had decided to make the terrible phone call early in the morning. "There is nothing big. We're just going to greet her and then we will come back." Those were the simple words that Dennis' mom replied with. It hit Dennis' mind that probably his mother does not want to pursue the conversation much longer unless Martha is around. He then decided to let go and come up with a fresh conversation. "Mom, how's the cancer? What did the doctor say? Did you go for regular checkups?" "I am not going back to that doctor anymore. I am not going to the hospital ever again. So stop asking a lot of questions and just finish up your food and we go." Then his mom tried to keep his calm, but deep down she felt a lot of pain. She knew that hospital could not help her anymore. The cancer had reached a stage where nothing could be done except wait for the day of burial. She really wanted to speak up and let her son know that she had tried almost everything, but nothing worked. Had cut a lot of skin layers trying to stop the cancer from progressing, but nothing worked. At the moment, she was facing the upcoming murdering of his son, just like her late husband had been murdered. She felt like his son's life mattered more than her life. She wanted to do the right thing and help his son's life. Then the rest would come afterwards. "I am going to prepare. Afterwards, we go." She left the living room because the face of her son and the thought of what was going to happen after they had met Martha was making her emotional. She knew that she was going to lose her son. More like the way Moses was hid in the ancient times in the Bible. She had to protect her son. No matter the circumstances, she would better lose him to the world than to lose him to the ground. "Okay, Mom, I'm done. Can we go now? I need to come back early and purchase some lotions before my flight tomorrow." "Oh yeah. We're not going to waste time, Danny. Which is why we are leaving early. We just need to be quick and catch a taxi. We should be back before midday, or slightly after midday. But then the time will be enough for you to get your lotions and some socks because it is going to be cold soon." They kept the conversation rolling as they left the house. Martha was up too early. Mother had always treated Danny as her own son. Even though Mother was not basically a South African, Danny was one thing that made her feel South African. And he was the reason why she had chosen to stay in Boksburg and not go back to England after the apartheid era. Mother had moved to South Africa in the early 1990s with her husband during the British colony that had been laid upon South Africa with the Dutch. Mother had come to Dennis' house rescue in the early days when he had been poisoned and had nowhere to go. Mother and Dennis' mom ran all over the hospitals in Johannesburg and nothing seemed to work until they decided to include prayer, watching God raise Dennis from the dead. Together they had raised Danny in the most normal way ever, hiding all details for him, allowing him to visit his parental home without any objection. Today Mother had felt it was the right time for Danny to take the next step in his life. He was a grown man now and could handle what they were going to ask him. "Hey Danny, you're finally here. I thought you were never going to come back." She mused. "My favorite boy, how are you? How is Boston treating you? I should make you a cup of coffee just like the good old days." Those were the times where Mother would look after Danny when his mom was away working in the factories, trying to earn an income to support him and to make sure that he gets the best education anyone can ever wish for. She got proud after Danny got a scholarship from Mastercard Foundation to go and learn in Boston. She felt really proud. She felt complete. He was now family to her. She needed to keep him closer as they laid the truth upon his chest today. "Come sit next to me. Today is important. I need you to listen very carefully. Me and your mom love you deeply, and we won't stop loving you." The air was thick as a moment of silence struck the whole house. "They have been calling, asking us where you are. They want you, Danny. They want to take you away from us just like they took your father. I know you think that your father died on a natural death, but your father was put into a coma and then buried alive. Today they even claimed that there was an event that you had to attend. They used your late father as a reason why you were to come. They invited us. They have a master plan to destroy all of us today." She waited for a moment, sighed, and then continued. "Danny, I told them that I do not know if you're still alive or where you are. I just told them that your mom said you should run away. You ran away from home and disappeared. Which is why we came to ask you today that you disappear and go on to start a new life." Mother was all in tears now as she spoke to Dennis. "What do you mean? And who are those people that want me dead? What did I do to them?" Dennis had a lot of questions which he wished could be answered right away. "Danny, my son, you were in a coma for a week when you were 4 years old. They had poisoned you with the same poison that had been put in your father, that had put your father in a coma, and then later pronounced him as dead when he was not. They were planning to do the same thing with you. Your family members don't want you. They also killed your uncles cold-blooded. They want you now. Mother and I decided that it is better that you vanish for real. Do not talk about your hair or your whereabouts to anyone anymore. Now we do not know whether we will ever see you again, but we will cross the bridge when we get there." She used her scarf to wipe away her tears, whilst Dennis sat quietly, bottling up the pain and tears which he wanted to let out, but at this moment wanted to man up. "I heard that you are leaving early tomorrow. Danny, we want you to leave and never come back. Build your home, and by home we mean far away from South Africa. We want you to build a home in the US and stay there. Do not come back, Danny. Do not. If it happens that you want to see or talk to us, call us, and that would be all. Martha was firm. She did not want Dennis to object or quarrel. She wanted him to take what he was being told. She was good at that. Ever since he was young, she was the only person that would be firm with Dennis. The rest of their stay at Martha's place was filled with light conversation and her last goodbyes to Dennis as he was destined to start his life all over. He spent the whole night packing. He told himself that everything was going to be okay. He didn't know how he was going to live on his own, but he had to be strong. He also didn't want to sleep because he wanted to spend all his remaining hours in South Africa awake. His flight was leaving early at 8 a.m. at OR Tambo International Airport. Dawn hit soon. On this day, no one accompanied Danny to the airport. He left as a stranger. He was a stranger now. His mother did not want to cry in front of him, so she had woken up early and left the house. Flight Boston has landed. Please make your way to the boarding gate. Those were the last words said to Dennis on South African grounds. Thank you for reaching this far, and thank you for finally finishing the story with me. This story entails the struggles that young boys that are born in a polygamous family face, where their grandparents have quarrels, fighting over their families, and they end up being dragged in positions which are not good for them, and they end up dying for sins which they didn't know or they were not involved in when they happened. I hope that you enjoyed this story and that you will be back again. Thank you for joining Crunchy Stories today. Stay tuned and enjoy your day. Thank you.